Today, on Be Something Wonderful, I stopped waiting to feel the conviction and just assumed it. I am your host, Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Huge video today, so let's get started. I had a back-to-back sessions, really tight yesterday, which normally doesn't happen, but in this case happened. And with the first person, this client, we were talking about the idea, or we were talking about a lot of ideas. But one of the big ideas was that she was waiting that she manifests a lot of things. This is what we're talking about. A lot of things that come to her, and she says, I feel the conviction when I'm manifesting those things. And she goes, for this, I just don't feel the conviction. And here's the thing. Here's what she was assuming. That she has to get that feeling to be convinced. That she has to have the feeling and then she'll have the conviction. But it's not that. You have the conviction first and then the feeling. The feeling is a manifestation. The feeling follows that state of being of the conviction. Then right after that, I had a regular client who normally we have sessions in general, but then sometimes a specific one. This was a specific session because she had a meeting later later that day. And here's what she said. Normally I feel it and then go into the meetings with that conviction. And this is the biggest deal I've ever worked on. So she was going into a deal, a contract, that was going to be decided in this meeting late yesterday. And she goes, normally I feel it and then go into the meetings with that conviction, but this is very the coincidence and the synchronicity with this, because I had a meeting just before that talking about this same idea, right? And what I said to her is, no, normally you have the conviction, always. You have that state of being of the conviction and then you feel it. It almost happens at the same time, but remember, there is no time. So it is happening at the same time in some ways, right? But it's always the state of being, the I amness, that drives that is the conviction, right? Remember what Neville Goddard says: the feeling is a conviction, right? He talks about the feeling of wish fulfilled, and then he even talks about that feeling is a conviction. A conviction, it's done. A conviction, it's yours. So that's a state of being. And the 3D feeling that you have of conviction is a manifestation of that state of being. That's what we got her to. And so I had a couple points, right? And we'll talk about the email that I got late in early evening last night. But 2 points. You have the conviction first and then feel it. Right? You have the state of being, I am that, it's done, and then you feel it. You don't need the feeling though, right? You don't need the feeling. She was thinking it's required. I've got to get to that feeling or I'm not going to get what I want. She's putting a condition on it. Do you see it? All you need is the assumption, a conviction that it's done, and then it's yours. The conviction is the feeling. Right? You'll feel it no matter what, but you don't need that feeling. Go for the conviction, because that is the feeling, the assumption, it's done, it's yours. And then the second point was, stop making it a big deal. Right? This is the biggest deal I've ever worked on. Stop making it a big deal. It's no big deal, even though she says it's a big deal, right? Drop the inflated importance. To source, they're all important and they're all not important, because it's unity. There's nothing more important than anything else. Drop that importance, don't make a big deal. She sent me an email, this is exciting. I landed it, big, right? I landed it, and she went on to discuss a few things about that. But essentially saying that she went in with the conviction, right? She stopped struggling to find the feeling. The feeling was there, for sure, but she went to that conviction. So I want to unpack this, because I did an entire lesson around this because I think it was so big yesterday, right? Conviction of your wish fulfilled is a state of being. I am. That's the conviction. Feeling is a manifestation, right? I am is the absolute conviction. So let's start with this conviction. Then we'll talk about the conviction of your certain assumptions and your wishes that you would like, right? I am is the absolute conviction that you exist beyond time, beyond space, beyond the mind, right? Beyond the middle, beyond the temporary thoughts and feelings and the temporary beliefs and the temporary assumptions, beyond all that, beyond the temporary changing 3D world conditions, right? That's why Jesus said, before Abraham was, I am, but really it's before Abraham, regardless of was or where the comma should be, whether the comma should be here or there, it doesn't matter. I am. Before 3D conditions, before the temporary mind, right? The temporary thoughts, assumptions, and beliefs in the mind and those feelings. You have I am. You have that state of being, that absolute state of conviction that you exist, right? That's what we're talking about. That's the ultimate assumption of absolute fulfillment. You might want to call it your divine assumption. It's your divine assumption. It's the assumption of absolute fulfillment. So anything that you say I am with is absolute fulfillment because you're using it with that conviction of absolute fulfillment. Do you see this? It's a state of being, right? Remember, I am is a state of verb, right? It states who you are, right? It's a verb though. So it's about being that conviction, right? You have to be that person for whom and through whom that reality is already real, right? There is a beingness to it. So there is a doing, the doing those being. And it's a state of verb, but it's still a verb. It's not doing anything in 3D, it's being it. Do you see it? So I am has the final say, right? I am has the final say. Not your thoughts and feelings. We believe we need to have that feeling of conviction to get what we want. We believe that that feeling has the final say. Your assumptions have the final say. Your I am has the final say. Your I am's the one and only power and authority over your reality. Hear this. And because that's true, and it is true, when you say I am, that is reality. It's ultimate reality. It's imagination. It's God. Right? My name, I am that I am. That's my name forever and ever, God said to Moses. Well, if that's true, that means your assumptions based on that I amness, based on that absolute conviction of existence, must also be your entire reality and has the final say and is the one and only power, not your thoughts and feelings in the middle. Do you see it? You would have no authority over me unless it had been given from above. This is in NASB, John 19:11. This is when Jesus is in front of Pilate, right? And Pilate says, what? You don't answer me? Don't you know I have the power to crucify you or set you free? Jesus goes, you have no authority over me unless it had been given from above. What's that above? That's your I am, right? You could have no power at all against me. This is the other version of that in the Bible, in another version, right? In the King James Version. You could have no power at all against me, at all. No authority, no power. That's Jesus to Pilate, right? That's your divine you. That's you, right? The 3D divine you. You, that I am in expression. That's who you are. You're that I am in expressing yourself as I am. Saying to Pilate, saying to those 3D conditions, saying to those temporary thoughts and feelings, you have no power over me at all unless it's given from above, from your assumptions, from your conviction, from your I am. Right? That temporary feeling of conviction has no authority. The authority comes from I am. It comes from your assumption. It comes from your state of being. Wow. That's powerful there. Just pause there for a second, guys, and think about that. Stop allowing temporary thoughts and feelings to deliver you up to unwanted 3D conditions and realities. Right? You're allowing them to have power and authority, just like Jesus was delivered up to Pontius Pilate, right? To be captured, to be crucified the next day. Right? Stop allowing your temporary thoughts and feelings or temporary 3D conditions, inner or in outer, to deliver you up to unwanted conditions and unwanted realities. Right? That's why it says in the next part of that John 19:11, Jesus says to Pilate, for this reason, for the reason that you would have no power, you could have no authority over me unless it was given from above, that I am. For this reason, he who delivered me to you has the greater sin. Your thoughts and feelings have the greater sin. Right? Remember what sin is. It's that idea that you're missing the mark, not identifying with your greater ideal. And when you're trying to manage those thoughts and feelings, you're not focused on your higher ideal. You're not identifying with that desired outcome. You're not assuming that wish fulfilled. You're trying to resolve those. And they're delivering you up to unwanted realities. Your thoughts and feelings have no authority or power over your reality unless you give it to them. I am that. Unless you say, I am that, they have no authority. Wow. It's your identification with those as reality when they're not reality. They're just thoughts and feelings about reality. I am is reality. What you assume is reality. So that's powerful. Requiring yourself to feel the conviction of wish fulfilled before you can assume, claim it, and be it. As in my client in the meeting, that the big contract, the big deal that she landed, before you can assume it, because you're handing your power and authority over to create your own reality to your temporary thoughts and feelings in your 3D conditions. Do you see it? When you're requiring yourself to feel the conviction, to feel that manifestation, right, of wish fulfilled, before you can assume it, claim it, and be it. In other words, before you can assume the state of being of conviction, assume the state of being of that assumption and claim it, that's handing your power over authority, your power and authority over to create your own reality, because you have the absolute power and authority to create your own reality, to your temporary thoughts and feelings of those conditions. That's why Jesus said, for this reason, the one who handed me over to you has the greater sin. In other words, you're missing the mark. You're not identifying with your ideal and assumption of wish fulfilled. You're identifying with your thoughts and feelings about those assumptions. Wow, that's powerful. So, remember, I am assumptions, thoughts and feelings, and your experience of reality. Sort of a short version of some videos that I've done on this with the levels of creation. I'm going to look for those links and put them in there. So the conviction as a state of being, I am. That's your conviction as a state of being. And then whatever you assume that is, you're going to think and feel it, and you're going to have an experience of reality. But those thoughts and feelings, those 3D conditions have no power or authority unless you give them authority from above, unless you claim they have authority, right? I am that. That's your assumptions. That's what creates reality. Your assumptions create your experience of reality, all of it. Wow, that's powerful. I stopped waiting to feel the conviction and just assumed it. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. We have a Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. You can visit us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin. We have a Facebook organization page at Be Something Wonderful, or just go to our website anytime at tomkearin.com or besomethingwonderful.com for all that information and more. Guys, don't forget that you can also join the membership channel. There's a link below if you're interested in that. That's more content. There's going to be more content coming out on that, and live streams. Or, as I said, just visit our website. And for coaching, just go to our calendar, calendly.com/Tom Kearin. I still get emails asking me, how do I book a session? It's right there. The details are in every description of every video with all the links, as well as it's on our website. But I'm always happy to answer that question. With great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin with Be Something Wonderful. We'll see you soon.